Hello everyone, welcome back to Manufactoria. We're still in governance, the game is still reminding me, hey, you could move on to aerospace. But I had to look around at the puzzles here. Well, I haven't decided like when we want to move on, right? Last episode I looked at peacekeepers and was like, oh, I can think of an algorithm that seems hard but doable, let's do it. So I did. This time I decided to look off camera so I don't have to do all that kind of aimless thinking. And I looked at Public Defender first, because it's another red one. Why not? And my first thought when I read this... Oh, I guess we should read the flavor text. Because we are going to do this one, I think. I hope. Robots which had, through some manufacturing defect or oversight, become intelligent enough to pass the Jeff Chowdhury test could now be legally considered persons. Once fighting for their freedom, though, they were penniless and vulnerable. They needed legal support. And who better to provide that support, Danica suggested, than another robot? So I looked at the goal, which is to accept only those robots which have exactly 2 different lengths of tasks. And my first thought was, oh my god, what? Like how exactly 2 is so hard? But I thought about it for, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. And I don't think it is that bad. Basically, what I think you should do is go through the whole tape, subtracting 1 blue from every task. As long as you succeed in doing that, you can just loop and keep doing it forever, right? But at some point, a task will arise, which you cannot remove a blue from because it's empty. At that point, you go ahead and remove that task and all other empty tasks, and also continue removing 1 blue from any non-empty tasks. And then you're just being asked, I need all tasks to be the same length, and furthermore that there should be at least 1 task. And we already, I think, know how to do that? Don't we have anything like all tasks the same length? Is that one of the ones we did? Like, this one, make each task larger. All tasks are the same length. Yeah, so we already know how to do that. That's Roboparalegal. It's kind of big, but recall that we do have a smaller solution, right? And so we can just do this after removing the set of tasks which are tied for smallest. I think that should work. And I think it may well require the whole video. I mean, it's a 4-star puzzle. That seems fair. But like, let's just give it a shot. So here we go. We enter, right? And we shouldn't even need yellow. So wow, amazing. I think that last puzzle was the first one we did. No, there was another one where we used yellow, wasn't there? Am I going crazy? Oh, was it the one where your job was to, like, reduce the number of blues in each task? I don't remember. I think there was another one we used yellow for. But anyway, here we're not going to need yellow because we're just consuming stuff. So we enter this main loop here where we need a scanner. And I think it wants to be a 3-way scanner with red, blue, green, because if we do find a green, we just throw it in the garbage, because there weren't 2 different lengths of tasks. If we find a red... I think actually I'm going to need a little bit more space here. I'm going to want to re-enter this loop. If we find a red, then we've found one of the tasks with the shortest length, because that length is currently 0. So I'm going to leave red alone for a minute and just work on blue. If we find a blue, then the first task, or well, this task, which may have been the first in the input, but is certainly the first one we're looking at, has at least one blue. So what we must do is copy all the remaining blues, but not this one. And then when we find a red, just put it back. Right? I think that's all we have to do for blues. Go back into the state where we're trying to shrink all tasks by one. Having successfully shrunk the first task. Okay. So, leaving red aside didn't buy me a lot of time to think. When we get our first empty task, we go ahead and remove it. We do not rewrite it. And we go through all the tasks looking for empty ones. So I think this is another three-way scanner with green? Because if we see a green, we should reject, right? I mean, yes, but I don't think I can put it here, for example, because I'm going to need to re-enter this state. So let's put it there. And if we see a blue in this task, well, if we see a red in the task, just delete it and go back, right? Because that means this task was empty. If we see a blue in this task, we copy all but that blue. And the red that ended the task, we also copy that. So I think that that looks... hang on, this should be the other way. Copy the red and go back here. The blues get copied like that. I probably want to flip this, because I might... No, I never want to re-enter this state, right? Because this state is one where I've never seen an empty robot. So I'm never coming back here. I want more space over here. Or probably up here, ideally. So we copied... We copied all but one of the blues, and then we put the red back, and we went here. And if we never again see a blue, it means there was only one unique length of task, so we're throwing it away. Therefore, when we do see a blue, something's wrong here. There's no way to ever escape. I see. I should not re-enter this state, actually. Because... Okay, so... I only get here if I... Okay, this is trickier, actually, because... Well, maybe I just don't want to junk from here at all. If I get to the end of the tape, after removing all of the robots who share the shortest length, and then I look again at the tape and find that it's empty, I can reject at that time, right? So I think this actually is my exit from this node. And this goes nowhere. There's never going to be a green. I still don't think I can avoid this conveyor belt, though. Well, obviously I can't because I have this loop, right? Well, we have shortened loops in the past by combining, I think, maybe not, two... Like, we have a length 3 loop, which doesn't factor evenly into 4, but it does factor into 6. So could we duplicate all the effort here? I'm not sure. I'm going to try and minimize scanners first, so I'm not worried about that. But it's something to think about. And by the way, since it's a 4-star puzzle, I'm not too worried if I don't get close on any of the medals. But I like kind of, you know, just aesthetically minimizing scanners. That's what interests me the most. Because it indicates a simple algorithm rather than indicating good layout skills. And I value the former over the latter. Okay, so we shrank all the tasks, deleting those that were empty. And now, we've encountered a green. So we better put that green back. And now we basically just want to copy, let's see if that works. Can I in fact copy between, was it Roboparalegal? It wasn't. Was it? It was. So if I grab the fewest stampers, which is this, and I copy it, will you let me paste it into here? You will. Waste no effort is an achievement I got for this. So I should be able to just grab this basically and put its entry here. Huh? Looking good? Let's try it? Nope. Empty robots are rejected. Well, that seems like it should be very... Oh, this is a single... My goal is to junk it because it has exactly one task. Ah! No, yes. What I pasted in is incorrect because it accepts if there are no robots at all. So, I think what we should do is just before we enter this other puzzle solution, confirm that there is not a green coming up. So... Well, but that's not going to be scanner optimal because we're putting an extra stamp on before getting to here. But let me just show you what I mean. If we take this and lift it up, and make the duplicating of the green, the replacing of the green here. We actually have to shift this up even further. Oops. Then what we can do is write the green in, and then scan. If we see a green, we junk, and otherwise we move on. So I think this has added 2 more scanners and stampers than I would have needed otherwise. It's still wrong. Okay, what's this input? A task of length 1 and a task of length 2. Yeah, I agree. We should have accepted that. So we read the first task and immediately we throw it away. Oh. Oh, this must have been a copy-paste error. There used to be a blue scanner there and it got erased somehow, right? Okay, still wrong, but for a slightly more complicated input. So 1 and then 2. So what do I get after the first loop? A 0 and then a 1. That looks right. And I immediately junk it? What? How did that happen? Well, yeah, that seems wrong. I should go back to the start at this point. There shouldn't be any way to junk something here because unless there are no robots at all. So what would happen if there were no robots? No tasks. Then I would... If I don't have a special case for that, then I would just loop forever, I think. Right? Because only when I find my first empty robot do I go down here. So I do need a junk condition for it. But it shouldn't be I reach the end of the tape ever. I guess since what we're still kind of closest to trying to improve on, is to trying to do well, is area. Let's do that. And we can just move the starting position, do something fancier. We start here, we stamp a... No, we don't have to stamp another green. We can just scan. No. Because if we scan for green or yellow, we know it'll miss. And if we scan for blue or red, it'll consume an input that I didn't want to consume. So I guess we do have to stamp a green, and then immediately scan for green, junking if so, and going here otherwise. Okay, I mean, it's a solution. I think the area might not be abysmal. The scanners and stampers, I added a couple that were not necessary. I think something like 4, probably. Our public defenders were selling like hotcakes, and local governments were stocking up on the cheap. I hadn't realized that there was such a shortage of representation for all kinds of poor people, not just robots. It wasn't really what I'd been aiming for, but it seemed rude to complain, and it helped sales. If it helped sales, all the better, right? Yeah, look at that. Exactly 4 scanners and stampers that were unnecessary. There were 2 here, and I think this could be avoided if I were smarter. I don't know, though. And we're almost on the area goal, right? Like, because this chunker doesn't have to be here. I could have put it over here. That would have been fine. And so we would just have to find a way to do without this one. But that seems pretty hard. I'm just going to live with this. As I said, I don't really plan to compete for medals on 4-star levels unless I feel like doing it, I guess. And, it seems hard here. I'm just happy to have solved it. It was a moderately difficult task, and we did it. Let's see if we should have time to do, hopefully, a 3-star level. When I went to dispute a speeding ticket I unfairly received, I was disgusted by the judge's behavior. She clearly didn't care about the case at all. Justice could only prevail with a dedicated, dispassionate arbitrator overseeing every case. If a robot had been running that courtroom, a much more reasonable viewpoint would have prevailed. Produce robots that enter with each task longer than the next. The last. Okay. That doesn't seem too bad. So basically, we start removing 1 blue from every task. If on the very first task we fail to do this, then we continue. We remove that task permanently and like the whole task, not just 1 bit from it. And then we still want to remove 1 from the rest of the tasks, but if we fail to do so, we junk. If we succeed in removing a blue from every task, we just go back to the beginning. And if the tape is totally empty, then we accept. That seems totally manageable. Needs a little bit of care, but nothing too tricky. Obviously, we're starting with a green. And, I think we can just put a scanner right here, because I'm never going to want to re-enter this state. If it's empty, we can accept. If it's blue, then we just subtract 1 from every task and then wind up here again. Which we've done this before, but I'm just going to do it again. I guess we can use a white scanner because it's impossible to hit green here, right? If it's blue, we want to copy all the blues except for the first one we already skipped. That seems pretty clear. And then once we get a red, we obviously replace that red and then move on and do this for the rest of the pots, right? So problem is I'd kind of like this area to be close to where I exit, and it's not so easy to do that because I have a lot of work to do if it was red. I could put the red over here and then the blue is in the way, but maybe I just route around the blue like that. Fine. So I want to be able to re-enter this node, I think. Do I? I think so. This node is useful. So we get to the end of the first robot in our chain of robots, and our job is to look at all the remaining robots and remove one from them, and if they're empty, reject. So I now look at another robot, and if there is no such robot, actually, I want to go back here, don't I? So maybe I can. So if I found no robots, I basically want to go here. But if I found a blue, I have a lot of work to do. And if I found a red, I can actually reject. Because I was trying to remove one from every robot, and I found an empty, every task, and I found an empty task. But, given that I read a blue, I think I just write a blue and then enter this state, right? Or actually, if I'm working on scanners, I can just enter this state, like so, write a blue on my way in. Surely this isn't finished. I thought I would need way more stampers than this. I must be missing something. I mean, obviously it's not finished because we don't have the start in. It got deleted in a copy-paste, but... well, we haven't addressed what happens if there are no tasks. If the first task... Wait, the whole red area is gone? Did I not do the red area? Okay, well, I'm certainly not done then. Good. Because I didn't think I should be. If the first task is empty, then I remove it. And then go up here anyway, I think? So this task was empty. And my job is now to just reduce the size of all remaining ones by 1. And that's what this node does. Isn't it? No. This node assumes... Oh, something's wrong here, isn't it? How do I even get back to here? Yeah, this... No, here, right. This is where I say, oh, I found a blue. I'm removing it. Oh. But then I write it back. So this is wrong, because my new robot shouldn't have all its blues copied. It should have all but one copied. I think that's... What the heck buttons did I just press? Here we go. I think that's this, right? Is to say, okay, read a blue, and then start copying. And that's what we should do here, right? If we read a red, then I need to get to this node, I think. Because this node's job is to remove a blue from all remaining robots, failing if it can't. So I think I can do this. Am I crazy? This seems so like... Okay, the routing is horrible, but there's so few scanners and stampers. I didn't think you could do it this quickly. Let's see what happens. Tell me why I'm wrong. Looks like I'm not wrong. All right. I was a bit surprised when, while talking to Danica about post-release judge support, Danica appeared from around the corner. For improved parallelism and fault tolerance, she'd made another Danica and copied herself over. Ultimately, I couldn't fault her reasoning. Talk about being able to scratch your own back. So this has to be optimal on scanners, right? It has to be. Don't tell me it's not. Yeah. Time, not horrible. I noticed Pleasing Fungus didn't give himself the medal on this one. Actually, I made it on area? What? This is a disaster. Oh, I guess this one doesn't have to be a pipe. It could have been a belt. It doesn't matter, obviously. Yeah, I mean, this... I did, by the way, talk to Pleasing Fungus in between the last video and this one, where we did Peacekeepers, and he confirmed that indeed only 5 people had solved the puzzle. That's why the graphs were in multiples of 20%. So, okay, we can improve time a little bit, I think, by making this go straight down here. It saves me 2 ticks in every loop versus saving me 1 tick when we finally reject the robot, costing me 1 tick when we reject the robot. I mean, it's a mild improvement, I guess. I'd like to improve my area. And it seems like there should be so much room to improve time. Look at all these conveyor belts. And I guess I don't even have to improve area, but I kind of want to. I don't know, maybe I'm not going to, though. Is there some better way to route from here to here? An idea which appeals is to copy this and put it on this side and flip this thing. Right? Then this node would be pretty close to being over here, and I could just scoot over. A downside of that would be that it would become more difficult to get from here to the exit. But it already sucks to do that. I don't think it would be much worse. So let's grab all of this. Oh my gosh, I'm already lost about what goes where. So the scanner that's not on the end is what goes at where this enters. So it goes like this. Okay. And this thing's red node used to go to the junker, so we can put that in. These were, I guess, going to remove unless we end up... No, I need them because I still need to get from here to here. So... Huh. that. And the trick is to get from here to here? Oh, I guess that's still pretty horrible, huh? I have 5 by 4. I think I could get 5 by 6, but that's already what I had, isn't it? Yeah. I don't even think it's going to be faster, but okay, I'll try it. Maybe I just made exactly the same thing again. I don't know. So this is a longer path, but it's like at the very end of processing. It only happens like at the end of our loops, right? So how did I do on time? Substantially worse. Okay. Never mind that idea, then. Alright, well, I'll take it. Another 4-star, which we're not going to do today. Yeah, I think that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.